Hey guys, newsflash. AMD's Ryzen is launched, and the Ryzen 5 series of processors are pretty much the best bang for your buck. So, with a sweet processor, you need a sweet graphics card to match. Will this new Radeon RX 580 be the perfect match? As my mama used to say, you can never get enough bang for your dollar. I hope she was talking about video cards. I didn't write that. So right off the bat, you might notice something special about this card. No, we didn't accidentally shoot the entire video with an RX 480. This is in fact the new AMD Radeon RX 580, and as you can see, it looks the exact same as the 480. They both use the exact same cooler, PCB layout, and video outputs. And the same applies to their specifications as well. Both cards have 2,304 stream processors, 144 texture mapping units, 32 render output units, a 256-bit memory bus, 8 GB of GDDR5 RAM, and a memory clock speed of 8 GHz. On the back, you'll find 3 DisplayPort outputs and 1 HDMI port. However, that's where these similarities end. The new RX 580 has a base clock speed of 1,340 MHz, up from the RX 480's 1,266 MHz. Now you might be thinking, hey, that's nothing special, that's just a tiny overclock. Well, you're kind of right. However, the reference model now has an 8-pin power connector instead of the 6-pin power connector found on the RX 480. What does this mean? Well, it means you have a higher potential overhead for overclocking, and the new 500 series is a direct replacement for the previous 400 series cards, so you're getting better performance for the same price. It's great news if you're shopping for a graphics card right now, not the biggest deal if you already own a RX 480, and it's absolutely devastating if you're hoping for the next Vega flagship instead. But enough about that. Let's take a look at how the RX 580 performs at standing on its own. It's pretty good. Just kidding, in games. Since both the RX 480 and 580's configurations are the same, performance in games was exactly as predicted. The RX 580's clock speed is 6% faster than the RX 480, and all the results hover around that range. Performance in 3D Mark, Dirt Rally, Rainbow Six Siege, Doom in Vulkan mode, and Unigine Heaven showed an improvement anywhere from 3 to 10%. Okay, but we were talking about overclocking before, so what about that? Well, from our last review of the RX 480 when that launched, and from the results we see on forums, most people can usually hit a maximum clock speed around 1,350 MHz, which, funnily enough, is where the RX 580 begins. If we overclock our RX 480 to the same clock speed of 1,340 MHz, then we get the exact same performance as the 580, give or take a 1 to 2% margin of error due to random variance in between runs. And the RX 580 itself? Well, with AMD's Wattman tool and a 50% increase in power limit, we were able to hit a maximum clock speed of 1,455 MHz, a memory clock speed of 2,200 MHz, and a maximum power usage of 164 watts. That's an increase of about 15% from the RX 480 using the stock cooler. Once aftermarket cards come out, we should be seeing an even bigger difference. And finally, crossfire performance. Again, expect to see crossfire scaling exactly the same as the RX 480. We unfortunately couldn't get any benchmarks in games since our beta drivers didn't have any crossfire profiles attached, but based on our 3D Mark score with 2 RX 580s, we went up 61% from 5,888 to 9,455. And that brings us to our conclusion. The new RX 580 isn't the biggest upgrade in the world, and we can't help but feel like this is what the RX 480 should have been in the first place. AMD made a big deal about how efficient their Polaris architecture was, but users ran into power limitation problems as soon as they started overclocking. With this new, beefier power delivery system and custom cards like the upcoming Asus ROG Strix or MSI Twin Frozr versions, the RX 580 should cement itself as one of the best options in the $200 to $300 range for graphics cards. And that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Click here for previous videos. Check us out on Twitter down there. But as always, like the video if you liked it, comment below for fans with benefits, and subscribe for more videos like this from NCIX, if that's the type of thing that floats your boat, pops your corn, boils your water. Take your pick of those.